Stegosaurus crossing. This is one of our kits from our Dinosaur Den collection from beadkids.com. So hello bead kids. What can we do with 500 beads? Well, one of the projects was to make a Stegosaurus, a pterodactyl, look at that face, an alligator with the eyes sticking up, long neck, a giant snail, and a Stegosaurus, all from 500 beads. This is the pattern. They look a little odd on a board, but this is how I lay out my beads. We start with our straws. I cut a point and then cut the straws lengthwise. Cut a point and cut the straws lengthwise. The Stegosaurus body the straws will go up and down. The legs will go across side to side, so will the triangle points from side to side. So we begin row by row, keeping the beads in the correct order. Put them on the straws. The straws will act like springs and just hold the beads on. Row by row, following your pattern. 2 or more beads we put straws in. If there are single beads, we do not put a straw in the single beads. So I'm working on the head and the neck, and we'll speed things up. So when you get the straws on, the beads on the straws, and a few rows done, it will start to look like a dinosaur. I put the beads on the straws, slide the straws down to the end of slide the beads down to the end of the straw, and cut the straw with side cut pliers or scissors. And the straws will act like a spring. Okay, there is my dinosaur. And I'm going to work on the legs that are going side to side. 2 beads for the legs. And then the triangles. 2s or 3s. Now you can choose any color that you'd like. And if you have your own beads, for sure you can use any color. It's our lanyard, a simple one. Make a loop, pull the string through the loop. A little more advanced, this is a fishing knot. Tie a half a knot and tuck the string underneath the lanyard. You gotta straighten the string out and then pull it tight. It's a little more secure knot. And just to remind you of our knots, right over left, tuck under, left over right, tuck under, pull tight. That's a square knot. This is a right over left, left over right, and over right again. It's a surgeon's knot. Any of those will do if you need to add string. I'm going to start stringing our dinosaur. From the nose, put the 1 bead on. Then with the second row, 2 beads, the right needle goes in the right side. Looks like the straw came off. That happens, but you just thread the beads back onto the straw. The right needle goes in the right side, and the left needle goes in the left side of that same row. The strings will cross in the middle, and then you pull it tight. Now I am using cotton string, and it wasn't quite thick enough, So I cut about 10 or 12 feet of string, and I folded it over and doubled it. So I'm working with 2 strings. Maybe working with about 5 or 6 feet. Oh, let's speed it up. Here's our body. I do the body separate, and then I add the spikes and the legs. And before you finish your project, be sure to tighten it. So I start at the top, kind of tighten the rows, and then I'll pass the right string over to the left side and tie a square knot. That's a right over left, and then a left over right. Now I have plenty of string, so I'm going to start back up and start adding the spikes as we go. Spikes and then the legs. So the end spike goes right on the tip of the tail, and it's 3 beads. I take the 3 beads and I go back, thread them on one string and go back through the 2 beads and go to the next row, and that forms a straight spike. And I continue lacing. Once again, the right needle goes in the right side and the left needle goes in the left side. I'm going to add 2 beads for a small spike, 2 beads, and then go back through one of them. There's your 2 straight spikes. Move up a row. So I'm in the 4th bead from the end of the tail, and I'm going to begin our first spike. I add the 2 beads together and the 1 single bead, and then I kind of fold it, sew through the bead, and then go down the next row. 3 beads, 2 beads, and 1 bead, all on the same thread. Now I'm folding it or stacking it, and then you sew in the opposite direction. That'll make your spike. The spike will take it 2 rows, and we're still planning on, now we're going to add a leg. So 3, 2, 2, and 2, fold it, and sew back in the opposite direction, the back leg of the dinosaur. There's our leg. And then pass your string to the other side. Now, some of this time you will get your strings on the same side of the dinosaur, and I recommend that you wrap your thread around the string once or twice, the string that's at the bottom, and then tie a knot. Otherwise your knot will slip through the dinosaur, and then your string can go back up the same row. Here's the next spike. 3 beads, 2 beads, and 1 bead, all on your needle, on your string, and you kind of fold them, stack them on top of each other, and then sew from the opposite direction. And that will make your next spike. We're still basically doing right needle and right side, left needle and left side. Once again, now we've got the thread on the same side, so I'm going kind of winding it around the string at in the bottom row from the previous stringing, and then tying a knot. Then my needle's going to go up through that same row and start another spike. 3, 2, 1. Fold, stack them. Sew back through to make your triangle spike. I'm going to add the front leg here, but I'm going to add some string first. So I cut another 5 feet of string, fold it over, and tie a square knot with a dab of glue. Pull it tight. I'm trimming the tails. And I'm doing the front leg, adding the 3 sets of 2 beads, folding them, running the string through the opposite direction, now because I have some string to work with, I'm going to go ahead and restring the rest of the dinosaur up and down, and then I'm reversing the string. It's the same as right needle and right needle, right side, left needle and left side. Coming back, I've got one more small spike to add, the 2 beads and the 1. And I don't have enough to tie off. So, plan B. I use the other string. And make the spike on the other string. And then send my needle down. And there's our dinosaur. I will end up with another square knot with some glue. I had to pick out the knot tied onto that needle so that I could have that extra 2 inches. Left over right, or right over left, add a dab of glue, pull tight. Trim the tails and you tuck the knot and the tails into a bead. I have another knot showing. And there you have our little Stegosaurus. Welcome to the world. Be creative, my friends, and have fun.